let's talk about purging when moving to Florida.
And we're going to tell you why you need to purge, because there's a lot of reasons actually, and how we went through the process, things we learned, things we wish we would have done and didn't do. And we're getting started right now.
If you're looking to move to the Venice area, make sure to call, text, or email me. My information will be in the description box below. I hear from people every day and I love it.
So here's the reason you need to purge a lot of stuff. In Florida, we don't really have attics you can use. We don't have basements like a lot of states have. So because of that, you're very limited on storage space.
And also when you move to Florida, there's a lot of stuff that you actually don't need and you don't realize till you're here. And then you end up throwing stuff away anyway.
Yeah, and take what we're gonna say with a little bit of a grain of salt, but we've heard some things from other YouTube videos that we watched before we moved down, and we've got a different impression of like what we could get rid of.
Yeah.
We thought we didn't need any jackets. Well, here's my jacket. We thought we didn't need any shoes. We would still wear socks and shoes occasionally. But there's a lot of things that maybe you will still need that maybe you might think you don't need anymore, because you're like, oh, it's gonna be warm all the time, and I'm only gonna wear flip-flops, tank tops. I don't know, that depends.
Yeah, if you're a person like us, we get cold really, really easily. So if you're like us, you might still need, you know, a few jackets, a few jeans, shoes obviously, and socks, because yes, you will get chilly like him. I just forgot my jacket, that's why I don't have one on.
So let's talk a little bit about the purging process and how we kind of decided what to get rid of. First off, talking weather-wise, we got rid of a lot of the really heavy jackets.
We did keep one each because we do still have family in Wisconsin, so we do go back for Christmas, so we obviously still need a heavy jacket that sits in our closet for all year, and then we only use it once in a great while.
Yeah, and not down here. We've never had to wear, like, this is the heaviest jacket I've ever really needed to wear. We kept a couple pairs of jeans. During the winter, we'll probably end up wearing them, I don't know, 2-3 days a week. Just depends on how cold that week happens to get. The mornings are usually cooler. And socks, shoes, we kept all that. Trying to think anything else warm that we really kept. That's the main stuff.
Yeah, I think that's mainly it. Maybe like sweatpants too, just for, well, if you like to wear them around the house or go out, whatever.
Yeah, or working out.
Or working out, yes.
I had like a lot of compression, like long sleeve compression pants and tops and things like that, and I brought them all down, and honestly, I think they just sat in the closet. So I probably could have got rid of them. I could still probably get rid of them. Is there anything else that we brought down that we kind of regret? Just so we can kind of get that out of the way.
I feel like I could have gotten rid of a lot more clothes. Like I did get rid of a lot of clothes, but I thought, you know, everything that I brought with me I would need, especially like work clothes, like formal wear. They're just too hot for here. Yeah,
I was gonna say formal wear is very different down here.
Yes.
Flip-flops are acceptable if they're kind of nice-ish, or like, yeah, flip-flop looking
like
sandals.
Sundresses.
Yeah.
Like my dresses are more like formal, so sometimes it can get really hot.
Short sleeve button-ups for guys.
Yes. I've seen some guys wearing like suits, which I don't know how they can do it, but they do it.
Yeah, and I mean, your blood does kind of thin, like people say, when you come down here. So, you know, for us, it does feel cooler, and you can handle a little more heat at like 75. Feels a little bit cool. So, you know, something to keep in mind. I know I actually too brought down a lot of like sweatshirts and things like that for the colder months. I have probably more than I need. I probably got like, I don't know, 15 of them, and I maybe need like 3 or 4 because I just could rotate between them for as often as I wear them.
Another thing that you could purge is furniture. There is a lot of stores here, like used furniture stores, that you could get really nice stuff at. So instead of paying, you know, $1,000, $2,000 to bring everything with you, you could maybe just sell it and just come down here and buy, you know, new furniture or used furniture if you don't mind that.
Also with furniture, there's a lot of stores we can get new furniture, like tons of it. Especially something to think about is like when you come down here, the style of the homes is different inside, outside, the vibe. You know, maybe you're trying to like have that island vibe going, or Key West style, or whatever that looks like, coastal, which is like the turquoise colors. So you might want to get furniture that kind of matches that aesthetic more. There's tons of furniture shops down here, tons of them. So you will not have a problem finding that.
Anything really,
yeah.
Yes.
And a lot of the stuff that is from up north can look kind of out of place sometimes with just the way the homes look here. So something to think about. Also, as far as purging, here's a big tip. I think this is the most important tip that we put into consideration. We're from Wisconsin. We got big attics. we got big basements. And if you've got a lot of stuff that's been sitting in there and you have not touched it in 1 year or longer, you probably don't need it.
Yes.
We got rid of a lot of that stuff. The only regret I have for getting rid of that stuff is I did have some workout equipment in the basement that I was using. Some of it I got rid of because I didn't want to lug it and ship it. And that stuff's kind of expensive to buy again.
Yeah.
So that stuff I do regret purging, or some of it anyways. Some of the bigger stuff, I had like a big pull up, like a whole rack thing, not like one that just goes in the doorway and things like that. Yeah, that I didn't want to ship. That I didn't want to deal with. There's really nowhere to go with it down here, but like some of like the smaller weight stuff, that I regret. So something to think about, you know, if you're still using it, maybe don't purge it if you feel like you can make it work down here.
Another thing you should think about purging, or at least going through, it's your paperwork. A lot of times we save, you know, paperwork that comes in the mail, or work paperwork, or whatever, school paperwork, and that stuff just like sits there. And it's one more thing you have to ship. So going through your paperwork, I know it's a pain in the butt, but just going through it and getting rid of whatever you don't need, it's a good idea.
Yeah, and I think the rule of thumb we gave for like if it's sitting in a closet or in a container,
In a cabinet, you probably don't need it.
yeah, if it's been there for a year plus and you haven't looked at it, you probably don't need it.
And everything nowadays is pretty much electronic too, so if there is I mean, I'm not saying get rid of all your paperwork by any means, but if there is something that you need, some company out there probably does have it for you. You know, if it's important paperwork that you need, don't get rid of it. But if it's like, sometimes like we'll get stuff in the mail that it's more like junk and you think you might need it, just get rid of it.
You could probably burn the title for your car. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, the important stuff keep. Everything else that's been sitting there, probably don't need. One other thing to think too about is the consideration of, and it depends on each person's going to be different, but the size of the home that you're going to be in. It's not necessarily just a matter of not having the basement and the attic, but sometimes the actual house might be smaller. Maybe you have less room, smaller living room. So little things like that you're going to want to put into consideration. Maybe the size of your bed, you know, for the bedroom. You know, if you're going to downsize or just try to live lighter, which it was very refreshing to do that. When we moved down, for us, like we were like, let's just kind of live lighter, kind of a little more minimalist, or whatever you want to call it. And honestly, all the stuff we got rid of, we don't miss outside of the workout equipment. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I don't even remember anything like of the stuff that I did get rid of. It was probably just mainly clothes for me. You know how you have clothes in your closet that you're like, oh, I'll wear that someday, and then it just sits there, and you never end up wearing it.
Again, the 1 year rule. Actually, I felt really good getting rid of a lot of this stuff. Some of it we sold on Facebook Marketplace, so we made a little extra cash. But yeah, just living lighter, more minimal. It's like you don't miss this stuff. As we were getting rid of it, I'm like, this is gonna be great, not having all this other stuff just sitting around. I don't know why, it just felt good.
For me, it was kind of sad, but at the same time, like, now I don't miss it. Like, there were things that I didn't want to get rid of, and I ended up keeping a few things because I thought, again, I would wear them or I would use them. And then once we got here, I ended up getting rid of a bunch of more stuff because, like, we don't need them.
Yeah, and I've liked kind of having that it's just less clutter. There's less stuff around the house. And now it's like I'm more mindful of like
what you buy.
Yeah, do I really want to get this? Because it's just gonna, you know, maybe I'll use this for a month and then it's gonna sit there. Let's maybe just not buy it. So it's actually kind of saving us some money too, probably.
If you're looking to move to the Venice area, make sure to call, text, or email me. My information will be in the description box below. I hear from people every day and I love it.
If you want to know more about moving to Florida, check out this playlist right here. We got a bunch of videos that will help you get an idea what the whole process is like, some helpful tips and whatnot. Hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on all notifications, and live breezy.